All right, I've got some more Q&A. If you guys have seen my other Q&A videos, you guys know how much I love doing Q&A. I describe it as throwing a message in a bottle out to the ocean, and not only is it received by you guys, but I also get some of those messages back, and it's just an awesome feeling. So these questions come from Tim Brown. Tim, I didn't get your location, but Tim is a personal trainer. He's doing a meal plan for existing clients based on macros. He's doing about 60 meals a week, which is a great start, Tim. Nothing to be ashamed of. And he wants to get to 300. Tim, you're well on your way. And your questions about upscaling your clientele are going to be beneficial to you. Tim wanted to know how to upscale his clientele, how to find more upscale clientele, and I've broken it up into 3 videos, the third of which is increasing the ticket, because I think that's what Tim was really asking, is how do I increase the LTV or the overall value of the client. The LTV is lifetime value, but the value of the client. Every week I want to be making more money doing what I'm doing. It's not necessarily selling more meals or catering to more clients, it's making more money, right? That's what the business is successful at, is making more money. That's what you want to be successful at. If you're servicing 10,000 people and making $1 per person versus servicing 500 people and making $10 per person, who would you rather be? The math really quick, the 500, because it's much less headache, much more profit, and your quality of life is going to be substantially better. In this video, I'm going to be discussing how to increase your existing clientele's value and how you need to be looking at your business and everything having to do with it in order to do this. You have to think of it as kind of like a renovation on your business. And I'll go through exactly how to do it, at least in broad strokes. And if you have more specific questions, definitely let me know. But before we get started, hit the subscribe button, hit those alerts. I don't want you missing any of these videos, and I'm sure if you're watching this one, you probably don't want to be missing any of the other ones. Check out the link in the show notes. It'll get you not only a copy of the ordering system that I created for free, but you can also hit me with any of your questions, any of your feedback, any of your critiques, and tell me a little bit about yourself. I would love to know more about who my viewers are, what projects you're working on, what level of the project you're at, and anything else that I could help you with, really.
Welcome to our channel where we go behind the scenes of our meal plan company Fit Food Fresh and other local businesses across South Florida. Make sure you hit the subscribe and alerts so you never miss a video, and hit us with any questions or suggestions.
All right, so upscaling your clientele. Well, what Tim means by that is he wants to basically charge more for the product and the service that he's providing, correct? Well, one of the first things we're going to want to make sure is that our product and our service justify the costs that we're charging. In fact, I like making sure that I deliver more value than what I charge, because it's just harder for someone to justify leaving you if they feel they're getting more than what they're paying for, right? Well, we're able to charge $14 to $18 retail for our meals. And it sounds a lot. I know when we started this at $9, we probably never thought we would have been in the $14 to $18 range, but here we are. Now, how have we done that? Well, we've set ourselves up as the highest rated meal plan in our area. And with that reputation, people are obviously going to be a little bit more reasonable when it comes down to paying more money. It's going to seem like it's not as hard of an argument for them to justify with themselves. So make it easier for them to justify why they're paying more for you than the other service. We have larger portions, we have higher quality ingredients, but most importantly, at least in my opinion, is our level of service. Because no matter how amazing your meal is, inevitably you are going to mess up at some point. There's going to be a mistake where you're going to have to refund somebody or do some apologies and do some groveling, and you'll want to make sure that your customer service is on point. Now, I've got a video on how to handle those type of clients in those situations, so definitely check that out, because that'll help elevate your service level to the next level. But make sure that your service and your product are both justified, in fact, more than justified by the price that you're charging. The ingredients, the portion sizes, that seems like a no-brainer. When people think more expensive food, they, want fancier ingredients and bigger portions and things like that. What you don't always think about are all the ancillary details. What about the containers that you're using? Are they high quality containers, or are they going to break and crack and be problematic for your customers who probably aren't going to be too thrilled when there's a mess in their bag. What kind of bags are you using? What kind of ice packs are you using? All of these things are going to play a part. Now, you can check out my video on pricing. I also make some good arguments as to why it's better to charge more for what you do. There's just more meat on the bone and you can deliver a better service. And at the end of the day, the more money you're making per client, the better service and product you can provide, but also the fewer headaches hopefully you'll have, because you can provide, higher quality product, higher quality containers and all those other things that avoid the mistakes of containers breaking, but also your delivery drivers and what you pay your customer service guys and what you pay the people in the kitchen. It's all going to be higher, so you can demand a better quality of employee, product, and everything else that goes along with it. So you can afford a higher level of skill set and temperance in this room, in the kitchen, and out there representing you at demos and whatnot. So again, there's a lot of benefits to that, but getting up to that level is a bit tricky. All right, now let's talk price increase. Now you've got an existing clientele base and you want to increase your prices. How's that going to affect them? Well, ideally, I would suggest trying to grandfather them in, or at least grandfather them in until there's enough new blood paying the higher price where you can afford to lose them if you do have to up your prices. You may have found out that your prices right now aren't viable, or you're barely making profit, and anytime there's a return or a mistake, it actually loses you a substantial amount of money, and that can easily happen. You want to keep those clients though, right? It's hard, and depending on where your business is and exactly how thin that margin is, you're going to be the one who has to do the math and decide if it's worth being loyal to these people who are at the beginning of your business and were able to help you, get started, or if you have to cut your ties and do a hard decision. Again, we've been fortunate in that we've been able to grandfather in everybody at their existing price so it doesn't ruffle too many feathers. Now, if someone's been dormant for a while, we'll kind of give them some warnings and say, hey, we've raised our prices, you haven't been using it. Right now, you're at the older rate, but if we don't see some activity soon, we're gonna up it. But at the end of the day, you want as many of the new members to be taking the brunt of that new price as possible before you decide to cut off anybody. Again, only cut them off if their margins are super thin. If you can still afford to keep them on, I would always suggest it. It's good karma. Like I said, they were there in the beginning of the business, so the fact that they supported you should mean something to you. Now, another question you're gonna be asking yourself is, what should you do first? Start targeting the higher end clientele, and how are you gonna do that? I'll explain that in the next video. Or raise the price. You're gonna want to raise the price first. This isn't a very tricky chicken before the egg situation. Essentially, it's harder to get someone to pay more for the same product, and it's even difficult to get someone to acknowledge your product has improved enough to justify that. If you start giving people larger portions or you start using higher quality ingredients, a lot of times they're not really going to notice that, so it's hard to turn around and say, hey, it's $2 more, it's $4 more now. What's better is you raise your prices. Again, maybe grandfather some people in, and now you approach that new audience with the higher price point. They're gonna have some friction going from $10 to $11 to $12 or whatever you're trying to do. I'm sure you can relate. There's probably not too many products that you've been able to pay more for once you've had it at price A. But that's all I've got for you today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope it was informative. I hope it was something that you guys enjoyed. Hit the alerts, hit the subscribe, or hit that link in the show notes to give me your feedback. Is there something I can improve on? Is there something that you want to see more of, more detail? Is there a question that I haven't answered yet? Let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. And as I said before, I'm going to send you a free copy of the ordering system that I created. I hope you guys had a great time watching. I definitely had a great time making it, and I hope to see you again soon.